Hello and good evening. In another episode of As the White Hood Turns, let's talk about Couch Boy and Mrs. Deceased. So you know they had an event at Ole Miss, right? And Couch Boy was the keynote speaker at this event. Now, I don't know if y'all have seen some of the pictures from the event, in particular the ones with Mrs. Deceased hugging Couch Boy. I'm not one to gossip. I'm not. But there are a lot of people out there saying, secret lovers. That's what they are. Now, I don't know. But if y'all done seen the picture, I'm going to try to insert it. Of her hugging Couch Boy, Mrs. Deceased hugging Couch Boy. It looked very suspicious. Anywho, while he was giving his little speech up there, he talked about Slotus, his wife. The chaise lounger. Let's just call her the chaise lounger. Anywho, he said that he's a Christian, and one day he hopes that she decides to join him on his walk in Christianity and Christian faith, and that they're raising their children Christian. But, she still has her Hindu faith. But one day he hopes that she will join him on the path of righteousness to Jesus. So, of course, the conspiracy theories that there's trouble in paradise for Mrs. Shays, and that Mrs. Deceased and Couch Boy, secret lovers, that's what they are. Now, allegedly, supposedly, for entertainment purposes only, and y'all did not hear any of that from me. Okay, bye.
Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I want to say thank you to everyone that has been liking, subscribing to my channel. I'm so grateful. I hit my 4,000 subscribers a few days back, and that wouldn't have happened if not for you guys, for your like, for your love, for your support. I'm grateful. Today I have a trending story for you about ERIKA and Jay. I want to call it Jay because we need to be discreet. So guys, what has been happening? People are saying a sort of things, and I don't want to blame the people that are saying stuff, because people said ERIKA is a married woman, though the husband is late, and J.D. Vance with his position. Now, why would such an embrace happen on the live TV and all that? And people are saying that the hug is not a bad hug, but the fact that she could put her head on the head of the man, knowing fully well who he is, his position as number two in America, then the fact that he is married, that if women especially are saying if it were to be their husband, that they will react, that they won't accept that. That's so close, that's so emotional, that's so I don't know. I think married people, especially the women, are the ones that are actually speaking, and I feel that both sides must be considered. People are saying, is it a game that ERIKA is trying to play and all of that? Well, let's see what other people are saying, because I have quite a lot of videos that I've put together for you. I don't want us to just watch the intro and forget about all the views. So we're going to be watching all the view holistically. Then I'll be right back so that we can begin the conversation around views that are different from what we've watched, right? So credit belongs to original creator of every content in this video. Don't go nowhere.
Putting your hands in a man's hair when you hug him, that is a very intimate thing to do. And if you're wondering why I'm talking about that, it's because we're talking about the hug heard around the world. And everyone was trying to comfort J.D. Vance by showing this image where he had his hand on his hip. But if you watch the video, this is not what it looks like. His hand brushed, he's not the problem here. This is what I have a problem with. Girl, what are you doing? Now, I went and visited my old job last week or a week or two ago, and I saw some of my old coworkers who were men who I was close with. They were like my friends. And when I saw them, it had been a while, so I gave them hugs. And I started thinking to myself, if I had like put my hands on the back of their heads when I hugged them, how like they would have been like, whoa, what the fuck? I don't know. Dude, Usha, girl, you're in danger. She's with the leather pants and the crop top. I would be upset if someone did that to my husband or boyfriend. I'm just saying.
I've waited for a Hot Pocket to cool down longer than ERIKA Kirk mourned her husband. I am so disappointed in myself that I did not come up with this burn. And I get that people mourn in different ways, but trying to become the next First Lady is a new one for me. And the other day, I made a video about how Usha Vance seems to be aging very quickly during this last 9 months that they've been in office. I'm sure that it has to be pretty tough considering that JD Vance keeps sticking up for white supremacists. And I'm sure that she has probably heard a lot of hateful comments since she's become second lady. And Vance knows that if he's wanting to be president someday, that this is probably not going to fly very well with his base. He has a brown wife and mixed race children, which to a bunch of white supremacists, that is a huge no-no. But if he had a newly single Aryan conservative lady on his arm, that might be a little different for him. Because very little happens by accident in politics. This was planned. This is not a hug. A hug is around the waist. This is intimate. To all the MAGA women, would you be okay if you saw a woman hugging your husband like this? I don't think you would. The thing about it is, though, is I don't even think this would help JD. He's kind of a charismatic black hole. He doesn't have that it factor that MAGA loves. Even when he tries to play tough guy, it's like you were handed a cone of sherbet when you were wanting ice cream. Republicans know that this is almost over and they have to find their next meal ticket fast. And I just don't see it being JD Vance. I don't see anybody excited about JD Vance. And if you have somebody in your family that acts like they're really excited about JD Vance, ask them what JD stands for and see if they know, because I bet they don't. I mean, we on the left know that it stands for janky dish rag, but they don't know that.
Now we move to ERIKA Kirk. And I don't know how to say this, so I'm just going to say it. I'm not married. I don't have kids. God willing, one day I will. Dating nowadays is wild. You just can't be too careful nowadays. But if I was married and if I was and my wife did what ERIKA Kirk is doing, I would hope all of you out there would just shame her into being pissed off at herself. Because what she's done, what she wore, how she talked, how she hugged JD Vance, it is the most disrespectful thing I could imagine. So why don't we start with this? And God, what a horrible thing to say.
No one will ever replace my husband. No. But I do see some similarities of my husband in JD and Vice President JD Vance. I do. And that's why I'm so blessed to be able to introduce him tonight.
All right, can we just stop for a second? All right, let's say that you and your wife are at dinner, okay? You're not dead yet. Your wife randomly starts talking about the other married man at the table. You're like, you know, my husband is amazing and nobody could ever replace him. But, you know, I see a lot of similarities between you guys. And, man, it's really cool. Is that something that seems respectful to say? Like, I don't know. It just kind of seems like maybe you like the guy, you know? Which is fine, right? I mean, people grieve differently and, you know, maybe her way is just finding a new man this quickly. But it's just a wild, wild thing to do when your husband isn't even, I don't know, about a month dead.
Because he understands the fight that we're up against. And he can articulate that in a way that transcends. He's an amazing man. No one will ever replace my husband.
The reason we should care about this photo is because I think that they're trying to publicly destabilize the idea that interracial, interfaith, and intercultural relationships and marriages are normal. And I say this because I saw a couple people saying, like, why does this matter? Why does this matter? Because of the context of it all. Right now, Jay, which is what we're going to call him, is going around saying that we don't need any more immigrants in this country, as well as asking his wife to now convert her religion, which they've been married for a number of years. So it's kind of random that all of a sudden he would be asking, damn near demanding, and kind of publicly shaming her on this. She hasn't had to change herself throughout all of his runs, which is important because his boss, Jay's boss, is the type of person who he demands that people capitulate to him and change everything about themselves for him. And that's kind of why we see all of the women around him take on a very particular aesthetic. But that's also not her, right? Even other women who are lawyers, maybe not as well decorated or respected, they fall to whatever Jay's boss's desire is for their makeup, which is like that heavy makeup, long extensions, so on and so forth. That doesn't seem to be Usha. And again, I just want to point out, like, she is very well respected, it seems, in her field as being a lawyer. She served for 2 Supreme Justices. Yes, it was Kavanaugh and Thomas, but like that's still a very big deal, especially for a woman of color, especially for the child of immigrants. Not only that, but she could have been a fashion icon in her own right, a political fashion icon, which is a very dicey thing right now too, because then that would mean we would be pedestaling someone who is of color. Oh my goodness. Which actually brings me back to here, or specifically here. I think that he's going to use this as a jumping point to say that there are cracks in their relationship and issues within it. I think that they are going to use this relationship, this grieving widow who turned to this family. They are currently all still married, currently all still living together, to find a family and solace. And during this time, he realized that their faith brought them together too. That is why he's asking Usha to change her faith now. And we're going to get more pictures like this. Them looking dreary, separated, a little bit confused, maybe a bit pensive, annoyed, maybe not at each other because they're not looking at each other. They're looking off in the distance and they could really be looking at anything. But the picture is going to convey a lot. And if this was a Shonda show, it would be reasonable to think that maybe she would not be on the season. Sorry, Jay's wife would no longer be on the season. And that they would come together as a grieving widow and a widower who seem to really understand each other's pain, understand each other's faith. And lo and behold, before we know it, they start dating. If they start dating, I give it 9 months before they're married. And he will be toting those kids around like they are his own. He will do interviews and press conferences talking about how much better it is that they come from the same background. He will talk about all of the hardships that he faced dealing with being married in an interracial, interfaith, intercultural relationship. He will talk about the strength and the bond of his new wife in such an interesting way. And then his wife, his second wife, will go on to make jokes at his first wife's expense in some form or fashion that will be seen as distasteful, but their audience will eat it up like a spoon to ice cream. And also, she would be able to fill the gap that Ivanka has left. I'm going to call her Ivy. Ivy has not been here for the second run, and she has not been here for the second term, nearly in the same way she was previously. People have speculated it's because, you know, she was kicked out of socialite circles in New York. Other people have speculated that she's on the list in more than one way. I don't know what it is. I just know she's not there. And so that this builds a bridge for that Gen X, millennial, and like older Gen Z to see lifestyle content, because those types of women are looking towards her right now, right? They see her as this like strong widow who, you know, nothing can keep her down, and the message continues forward. She's girl bossing, but they don't see it as that because she's talking about family. It's like the conversation about trad wives, and people don't understand the difference between an actual trad wife and someone who just likes to cook for their husband. But I digress. That's not what this is about. They will preach that they have seen the light, and they will preach that other people follow it, and they will preach that getting rid of the option of interracial, intercultural, and interfaith marriages is the best thing to do and the best thing for America.
A lot of people are saying that something is fishy, but I feel that nothing is fishy. Not, not because I don't understand the org that was done by ERIKA to Jay. I understood that. But what I'm saying is that ERIKA is a single mother. I mean, what we call widow. And I've read conversations about people saying that even if our husband were to be alive, that he would have preferred it to go that way. That he wouldn't also want his wife and his children to be without a father. And that a good man like Jay would have been very appropriate and good for him to choose for his wife. This is what people are saying. This is what I read online. But another school of thought was saying that why would you do that to a man that you know that he is married, apart from the fact that he is the number two of his country? That what is more important and what is more, you know, sacred, like they put it, is the fact that he is happily married to his man. And another narrative is that people are saying that maybe because of the fact that the woman is from a different race entirely, that the whole idea, the whole the whole picture and the whole video that is trending, that is a pre-planned idea, that they're trying to just bring in a narrative that, oh, maybe if this guy want to run for the office in the nearest future, that the idea of having someone that is of not the same, yet of not the same race, that might not be a good, optic for him when he's trying to campaign or go for the highest place of office in his country, that might be what they're trying, a lot of rhetoric, and it's trying to just see how that can happen. And people are saying maybe there's a back and forth between him and his wife that looks as if the home front is not really going well because of the fact that Jay has become a public figure, and of course what he and his boss believed when it comes to immigration and race and all of that, that it might be that, hey, you can't go for that office if you are the husband to someone of different race, that their administration is actually saying they don't want, and they're trying to do everything possible to make sure that those people are out of the country. A lot of rhetoric from people, and it looks like, could it be true that Jay may want to go for an option that will be generally accepted by Americans? Guys, what do you think about that? That he may want to go for that option that everybody will feel, oh, okay, this person is of the same race, we are from the same place, and none of that, that the optic might be very good for his campaign in nearest future, and that this might be also the body language of his boss, who also is the master of all of that when it comes to, the race of people and the kind of people that they want around and all of that. Well, these are narratives, these are stories and rumor that people are saying, but we never can tell how true it is. But guys, I want to know what's your side of the view. Is it possible that Jay is in serious pressure, knowing full well that his wife is not from the same, where he comes from? Or could it be that his boss is pressuring him that, oh, guy, if you want to go for the highest job after me, you have to get someone of the same? Could it be that? Or could it be that, hey, the lady in question is actually admiring or thinking or desire? Because if she could hug him and put a hand on the air, people are saying it means a lot. That is the body language. This is game, and they're saying these are all planned. And guys, I want your view and your perception concerning this story, because this is actually trending, and I brought it for you guys to give me your side of the story. What do you think is happening? Thank you guys for watching. While I await your view at the comment section, because this story has just begun. And of course, if today is the first time, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share if you love this great content, and let it go viral so that people can begin to hear their opinion, their perceptions about this whole story, and we can know what is the truth. Thank you. So I come your way again. Bye bye.